I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times with news from Arkansas on Tuesday, February the 17th. Governor Asa Hutchinson had a news conference this afternoon. It was a big assembly of people to talk about his workforce training bills. There are going to be changes in the department and more money is going to be spent. But the headlines that came out of the session were about reporters' questions about the Justin Harris adoption case. Hutchinson didn't want to say a lot about it, but he said several things. He said, one, that there was going to be a wide-ranging review directed by his office of the Department of Human Services Child Welfare Services, not just on this single adoption case, but on many aspects of the department's services. He said he approved of the bill that came out of a House committee this morning that would make it a felony to rehome children, as State Representative Justin Harris had done with his own children when they proved to be difficult for him to handle. And he also said, however, when asked directly about Justin Harris and his fitness to continue to serve, he said he was going to continue working on the things that a governor does and let the legislature work on what the legislature does. To date, there hasn't been a single Republican member of the Arkansas General Assembly that has uttered a word of criticism of Justin Harris. However, he did yesterday give up his vice chairmanship of a committee that handles legislation related to children, and he left another important oversight committee that is very important in Department of Human Services affairs. Interesting reading on the Arkansas Times blog this morning. I urge you to take a look. Yesterday, as I told you, they approved new pay raises for state elected officials and judges. These included a whopping 11% pay raise for the Arkansas Supreme Court. Even a regular justice will make $166,500, the Chief Justice $180,000. During the course of the public comment period, Justices Karen Baker and Joe Hart objected that these raises weren't high enough. They particularly were aggrieved that they were only making $5,000 more than Court of Appeals judges. Well, apparently Judge Gary Arnold, who's president of the Judicial Council, which is sort of the judges' organization, sent out a memo that was somewhat critical of Baker and Hart saying what they said in the meeting. It rubbed some people the wrong way. Some people thought it was bad politics. Well, Baker and Hart didn't take that. They've written some very tart letters back to Gary Arnold about daring to question their activities, and they still want more money. Too bad for them, they didn't get it. Other big news at the Capitol concerns House Bill 1733. This is the bill that's backed by the Walton Family Foundation billions, which is aimed at allowing the private corporations to take over operation of Little Rock schools, do away with the school board forever, take property taxes and buildings, and put them under private charter school management. Maybe some schools, in time maybe all schools, maybe there'd never be a school board elected by the people of Little Rock again. There's a bill that will allow this to happen. It's on the House Education Committee agenda. It may come up at the end of the day today after the House adjourns, so I'd urge you to take a look back at the blog and see if something did happen. There's going to be a rally tonight at the state capitol by the many student, teacher, administration, and public groups that oppose this bill. There's going to be a big crowd at the Capitol. Even if the bill comes out of House committee, it'll still have a few more steps to take. There's going to be a hearing tomorrow in Circuit Court in Little Rock about a lawsuit that challenges the state's takeover of the Little Rock School District, which is a critical element in this broader takeover plan. So there are a lot of competing actions underway, and we don't really know what's going to happen. For reading, I do urge you to take again a look at our Arkansas blog and read a piece that's been written by parents from New Orleans and Chicago about the failure of charter school takeovers in their city. They're described as miracles, but they're anything but miracles. Terrible results, no choice, and unhappy parents. Bart Hester has become my leading candidate for Death Star Legislator of the Year for all the bad legislation he's endorsed, sponsored, and backed this session, from gay discrimination to bad zoning bills and the like. He's got a new one a new idea that's even better. He says he wants to cut spending on higher education when they do the Revenue Stabilization Act. Asa Hutchinson is only going to hold them steady at their current level of funding. A cut would be drastic and would mean instantly higher tuition for every student in Arkansas. He says he put the money in either pre-K education or tax cut. My bet is if he got the money, he'd put it in tax cut, not in kids. Other headlines: the unemployment rate in Arkansas has dropped down another 1/10 of a point. We're below the national average now. We had a little news on the blog yesterday about poor Jeremy Hutchinson, the senator, after getting sued for being behind on car payments a while back. He got sued by the state for not paying all of his income tax. He said he squared his bill. I feel a little sorry for Jeremy. He said, you know, he needs a wife. He's divorced now and he needs somebody to handle his financial affairs. No doubt about that. I want to credit Jeremy Hutchinson for trying, though failing, to pass a bill that will expand wine offerings in grocery stores that already sell wine. They currently can only sell Arkansas wine in small batch wines from other states. He wanted to expand that. It would have been good for consumers. Special interests defeated his bill in committee this morning. Poor Jeremy, bad week. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.